All right, so as we take a look here at number 18, the directions are find an equation of the line satisfying the conditions. Write the equation in slope-intercept form. All right, so in number 18, we're given a point, and we're told that the slope of the line that contains this point is going to be parallel to this equation. So they don't come out directly and give us the slope, but what they do give us is a line, an equation of a line, and tell us that this equation, this line, has the same slope as the line that has this point. So what we want to do is take this line, find out what the slope of this line is, and then since these two lines are parallel, you'll recall from earlier in the review series, we talked about parallel lines having the same slope as one another. So whatever the slope of this line is, we're going to take and use with this corresponding point. So let's go ahead and take our negative 7x plus 5y equals 57. And let's go ahead and put this equation into slope-intercept form. So y equals mx plus b. And we want to put this equation into y equals mx plus b slope-intercept because in this form, we are quickly able to identify what the slope is. Otherwise, it can be difficult to see right off the bat what the slope is. But if we can take the given equation, put it into slope-intercept form, right away we can see what our slope is. All right, and so to do that, we'll go ahead and add 7x to both sides. And that's going to leave us with 5y equals 7x plus 57. And then to solve for y, we're going to go ahead and divide by 5 on both sides, and that's going to leave us with y equals 7 over 5x, and then plus 57 over 5. All right, so now that the equation has been rewritten in slope-intercept form, we can clearly identify what our slope is. And so in this case, our slope is 7 over 5. So we're going to take this m and this point and plug that information into our point slope form. And hopefully you'll recall by now that our point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. So let's go ahead and label our given point x1, y1, and we have our m, so we have all three bits of information that we need. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like when we plug this information in. So we have y minus y1, well what's y1? 5, equals m, well what's our m? We just solved, and we have 7/5 times quantity x minus x1, well what's x1? Negative 6. All right, so let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. So we have y minus 5 equals 7 over 5 times x. And of course, when we distribute this negative through, we're really going to get x plus 6. And from here, remember, we can do one of two things. We can either go ahead and distribute this slope through our parentheses, or what we can do is go ahead and clear our fraction, which is what I've been doing for the past several examples. And I'm going to go ahead and do that here. So our common denominator is 5. And so we're going to multiply this whole equation by 5. So 5 by 5 by 5. And when we do that, we get 5 times y. Well, that gives us 5y. We get 5 times negative 5. Well, that's going to give us a negative 25. The whole reason for doing this is to clear this fraction out, and so the 5's cancel, and we're left with 7. But when we distribute this 7 through, we're going to get 7 times x, which gives us 7x. And then we're going to get 7 times 6, which is going to give us a positive 42. And the directions tell us to put the equation in slope-intercept form, all right? So slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So let's go ahead and start doing that, shall we? So we're going to go ahead and add 25 to both sides. And when we do that, we're going to get 5y equals 7x plus 67. And finally, I'll go ahead and rewrite this real quick up here just so we don't cram it in there in the bottom. All right, so I just rewrote that last line there. So finally, to solve for y, putting this equation into y equals mx plus b, we'll divide by 5, and that leaves us with y equals 7 over 5x plus 67 over 5. And there you have it. We have taken the equation, or taken the information rather that they've given us, this point, negative 6, 5, and we found the slope of the given equation, and since the given equation had a slope that was parallel to the line that we were trying to find, we used that slope and paired it with the given point, put that information into our point-slope form, and we're able to solve the equation and put it into slope-intercept form. So we ended up with y equals 7 over 5x plus 67 over 5.